A warm welcome to The Last Rites, of course. Please drop a subscribe. It would be so lovely. The Clintons and Epstein. Why not? So this is a US House panel votes to hold the Clintons, Bill and Hillary, of course, in contempt over Epstein's subpoenas. Now, listen, we all know what's going on here. We all know there's a bit of a cover-up going on. There's a bit of a protection of the current man in charge, I'd say, or at least the people around him. They all seem to be lying for some reason after promising files will be released, and then there are no files, and then there won't, and then it's a hoax, and then it's not. They've released 1% of the files, and they're supposed to be all of them before Christmas. We know the deal. And we know that to some extent this is probably a bit of a smokescreen on that anyway, except we have got those pictures of Bill Clinton all lent back, ready to receive in the pool. And we know how many times he was knocking around on the planes and photos of him in dresses and all the rest of it. But nevertheless, a key US congressional panel has voted to hold former President Bill Clinton and his wife, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, in a contempt of Congress over their refusal to comply with subpoenas in its investigation of convicted offender, Mr. J. Epstein. If it passes the chamber, no matter, it will be referred to the Justice Department. The committee had summoned both Clintons to testify about Epstein, with whom Bill Clinton has appeared in photographs in the 1990s and early 2000s. Billy Boy, it didn't say that, but I'm saying Billy Boy, has never been accused of wrongdoing by survivors of Epstein's abuse and has denied knowledge of his offending. Lawyers for the Clintons have called the Oversight Committee subpoenas unenforceable, and they said they already provided the limited information they had about Epstein. Well, I would say they probably had quite a lot of information about Epstein, given that they were in his houses and, you know, moving around with him and friends with him for many years. It's not limited information, is it? I guess it's limited in that it's not everything, but compared to most people, it's pretty unlimited. On Wednesday, 9 Democrats voted with the Republicans to hold Bill Clinton in contempt of Congress, while 3 Democrats voted to hold Hillary in contempt. If the full House votes in favour, the Department of Justice would decide whether to prosecute the charges, which is a misdemeanor offence punishable by a fine of up to $100,000. So literally, the offence means nothing. $100,000. They probably made that selling baby. I mean, you know, giving speeches to whatever after they got out of the House of Cards like power. In a statement, Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer urged the full House to hold the Clintons in contempt, saying his committee had sent a clear message that no one is above the law and justice must be applied equally regardless of position, pedigree or prestige. Agree. Let's also look in other places. You know what I mean. The attorneys also said the subpoenas were untethered to a valid legislative purpose, unwarranted because they did not seek pertinent information. Pretty pertinent information, I'd say. Bill Clinton appears with Epstein and at the late financier's estate in photographs that were recently released by the Justice Department after Congress passed a law requiring the agency to release material related to investigations of Epstein. Yeah, but they've 99% of it they have not released. So it's all smoke and mirrors, right? One picture shows the former president swimming in a pool, and one shows him lying on his back with both hands behind his head. We know the picture, right? Clinton spokesman Angel Urena said when the photos were released that they were decades old and Clinton stopped associated with Epstein before his crimes came to light. Well, maybe that would be worth looking into, right? Prince Andrew definitely lied. So there we go. The Clintons are saying nothing to do with us, mate. Probably bullshit on their part, but can you trust the Department of Justice or the current administration in America? I don't know, because they all seem to be covering something up, right? 99% of these files. Get them out. Let's see how much you just painted black. And they'll call it a redaction, right? Anyway, cheers. That'll do. What do you think? Let me know. What a lovely day to come back talking about this lovely case. I have jaw ache from talking. I don't know why. Maybe I'm dying. But please subscribe anyway. It would be lovely if you would. All right. We'll see you later.